something, Nashville. I love Nashville. I do love Nashville. I'm going to tell you a story about Nashville. You're not even going to believe it, but it's a very personal story. It's a special place to me for a very special reason. But maybe more importantly, we have an incredible woman with us. She's 92 years old. We don't talk about age, but she's 92. And she looks magnificent. And her name is Beta, and she's become very famous. You know who Beta is, right? Beta, where are you, Beta? Look at her. So beautiful. So she just registered to vote for the first time in her life. She hasn't seen anybody that really did it to her. And for the first time in her life, she just registered to vote. And she's going to vote for Trump, I think, right, Beta? I think. Thank you, darling. I really appreciate it. You know, she's become so famous. She's on television all over the world now. I have to be nervous even talking to her. You're so famous. It's great. Beta, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, honey. And everybody appreciates it. Because there is a big, big, growing, like leaps and bounds, silent majority out there. And we're going to take this country back, and we're going to make this country so great again and so strong again. I have to tell you, sit down, folks. Enjoy it. Let's go. Sit down. Enough with the standing up. Look at this group. Boy, what a group. This set the all-time record for the room. What a group. They turned away thousands of people, I hear. But they have some speakers outside, so that's okay. These people have the best real estate, right? These people really have good. Well, I just want to tell you about Nashville. So, years ago, many years ago, like, I hate to say 40, but I won't say 40, but close to 40. I came to Nashville. Did you ever hear of a company called Genesco? Genesco, right? So they were based in Nashville, Tennessee, and they owned the Bonwit Teller department store chain. And I was a young guy, and I came from Brooklyn and Queens, and I wanted to go into Manhattan. And I went into Manhattan, I did the Grand Hyatt Hotel, and I did some other things that were good. But the thing I wanted more than anything was Fifth Avenue between 57th and 56th Street, which is called the Tiffany location, right next to Tiffany. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that piece of property so badly. I shouldn't say that because you're not supposed to want things like that so badly. God will get angry at me, right? But I wanted it so badly. And the company that owned it was Genesco, based in Nashville, Tennessee. And I came in, and I came to Nashville. And I met with the heads of Genesco, who were really great people, actually. And they were having a lot of difficulties. There were a lot of fighting and a lot of everything. And I convinced them to sell me the land and the building. And I bought the Bonwit Teller store at Fifth Avenue from 57th to 56th Street, surrounding Tiffany. I bought all the air rights, and then ultimately I bought the air rights from Tiffany, and I built Trump Tower, and to this day it's one of the great buildings of the world, and it's one of the great successes. And I love country music, and I went to the Grand Ole Opry while I was here. And I just had such an incredible experience. And when it came down to speaking, because we can speak at a lot of places, you know, when you're leading in every poll, they sort of want you. When you're not leading in the polls, like so many of these guys, they don't want you at all. And we'll talk about the polls in a second. But I had a lot of choices for this morning. And I guess I could have also gone out and played golf like the president does all the time, right? But I decided, let's do this. And I really chose Nashville because, hey, the experience, it's not my biggest deal, but in terms of a deal, it's so important, and it's been such a great, from the day I built it, it was a home run. And it all really took place because of Nashville, Tennessee. So I really, it's an honor to be with you folks, that I can tell you. Real honor. So, coming over, I heard, and I watched television, and, you know, they have all these cameras back there, and they're live, and I guess we're live on CNN, we're live on so many different things, and it's always difficult. You know, when you're always live, you got to change up your speech. You can't make the same speech over and over. Marcia knows that, and some of the folks in the room know that, but you're always live. The other candidates don't get covered live, ever, except for the debate. So, you know, they had 24 million people on the debate. Now they think when the new numbers come out, they'll be even substantially higher than that. So I would have said they would have had 1 million or 2, right?
So I said, they have 24 million people. And I said, well, now the second debate, which is on CNN, that was on Fox, maybe I should ask for a lot of money and give the money to charity. Does that make sense? I don't know. All to charity, all to charity. And I said that to the writers at Time Magazine. They were nice enough to put me on the cover with actually a nice story. And I said, you know, and I sort of thought I said it off the record, but they put it in Time Magazine. So maybe should I ask for charity? Maybe a nice Nashville charity and American Cancer Society and AIDS research and there's so many good Alzheimer's, you know, there's so many things going on there. Maybe I should ask for a lot of money or I'm not showing up. Because, you know, it's interesting. So they'll get, let's say, 2 million people, 1 million to 2 million people at the debates. You know, they've been doing them for a long time. They don't do great, especially the early Republican debate. Like, you know the expression, it draws flies. That's what it draws. So this was one of the biggest shows in the history of cable television. I think it might have been the biggest in terms of political, in the history of cable television. So I took full credit for it, which in all fairness I should. I should. So bottom line is I think I might ask for a lot of money for charity, but, you know, but I did say, but is it a little hokey if I do that? Maybe it's not so nice. So what do you think? Should I do it or not? Maybe not. I don't. Here's the thing. If I don't do it, CNN just makes a lot of money. I don't care about CNN. Honestly. No, they're going to make a lot of money. They just turned off their camera. They're actually very nice. But they're going to make a lot of money, and, you know, I think it's something we should consider. So we'll all consider it together. But coming over today, I saw that they were having the illegal immigrants come in, and somebody mentioned the term, the dreamers, having to do with children and, you know, the dreams of children. And these are people that come over the country, the dreamers. And I said, what about our children? Why can't our children that are in the country, why can't they be the dreamers? Nobody ever talks about that. No, nobody ever talks about that. You know, we talk about the dreamers, we talk about illegal immigrants, who, by the way, are treated better than our vets. You know, our vets are incredible. No, the illegal immigrants, in many cases, not in all cases, but in many cases, are treated better than our veterans, who are the greatest people we have. Our wounded warriors these are the greatest people we have. And another thing nice about being able to make speeches without having to hire some guy to write it and keep writing it and read it and put a teleprompter and then say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Nashville, it's wonderful, you know, is that I can sort of be very current. Okay, I can be very, very current. I can talk about what's happening. This morning on the television, they had a whole story about the Veterans Administration and the hospitals, how people are waiting on lines to get in. These are our veterans. These are the people that got hurt fighting for us. Maybe we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, to be honest with you. I mean, that's possible, too. And they had a story this morning on Fox, on CNN, and a number of them, where the veterans are just treated terribly. And they showed a desk where there's supposed to be people behind the desk. And they showed this desk, and there was nobody there. And the veterans, I don't know, probably some of you saw it. The veterans are saying, where are the people? And then they said, what happened? And they said, oh, this happens all the time. There was nobody even there. And 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, they had the longest wait in the history of the Veterans Administration for people wanting to see a doctor. Now, if I go to a doctor, if I have to wait like 9 minutes, I'm like, get me. I go crazy. It's true. Remember the old days when the doctors used to come to your house, right? Beta remembers that. You'd have a cold, the doctor would come over carrying a little bag, like this big, beautiful little bag, being at the top, and he'd come over to your house, check you out, fine. Those days don't exist anymore. You know, we're in the age of Obamacare when nothing exists. By the way, we will repeal and replace Obamacare. That I can tell you. That I can tell you.